In a sun-scorched desert town, a cruel biker's prank, kicking a loyal dog named Diesel, unleashes the wrath of an unlikely hero, Jason Statham, the dog's owner and a real-life action star. With fists flying in heart-pounding intensity, Jason takes on the biker gang, sparking a chain of events that blends raw action, deep emotion, and a powerful lesson in kindness, transforming a town and proving you don't mess with a man's best friend. In the dusty outskirts of a small desert town, where the sun scorched the earth and tumbleweeds rolled lazily across cracked roads, a biker gang known as the Dust Vipers ruled the streets. Their leader, Rex, a wiry man with a shaved head and a penchant for cruel pranks, was notorious for his reckless stunts. His latest obsession? Kicking stray dogs that wandered too close to his crew's hangout, a rundown bar called the Rusty Spur. He'd laugh as the animals yelped and scurried away, his gang egging him on, oblivious to the pain they caused. To Rex, it was just a game, a twisted way to pass the time in a town with little else to offer. Unbeknownst to Rex, one of the dogs he targeted wasn't a stray. It was a scrappy, loyal mutt named Diesel, a mix of German Shepherd and who knows what, with a grizzled coat and eyes that sparkled with intelligence. Diesel belonged to a man who kept a low profile in town. A newcomer who'd rented a modest cabin on the edge of the desert. That man was Jason Statham, a tough-as-nails stranger seeking solitude with Diesel, his companion of 5 years. The dog had been with him through grueling days, late-night training sessions, and quiet moments of reflection. To Jason, Diesel was family. It was a blistering afternoon when Rex spotted Diesel sniffing around an alley near the Rusty Spur. The dog had wandered off from Jason's cabin, chasing a scent, his curious nature getting the better of him. Rex, leaning against his Harley with a cigarette dangling from his lips, saw an opportunity for his sick brand of entertainment. "Watch this, boys," he sneered, striding toward Diesel. The dog's ears perked up, sensing danger, but before he could bolt, Rex's boot connected with his side. Diesel yelped, skidding across the gravel, and the vipers roared with laughter. But Diesel didn't run. He stood his ground, baring his teeth, his growl low and defiant. Rex, amused by the dog's spirit, raised his boot again. What Rex didn't see was the figure watching from across the street, hidden in the shadow of a sagging awning. Jason had been out looking for Diesel, his instincts kicking in when the dog hadn't returned home. His blood boiled as he saw the kick, heard the yelp, and watched his loyal friend stand tall despite the pain. Jason's fists clenched, his jaw tightening. He wasn't just a man who looked tough, he'd trained in martial arts for decades. Rex had no idea who he was messing with. Jason crossed the street in long, deliberate strides, his black leather jacket blending into the heat haze. The vipers noticed him too late. "Oi, mate," Jason's voice cut through the air, low and dangerous, with that unmistakable East London edge. "That's my dog." Rex turned, smirking, sizing up the stranger. "Your mutt shouldn't be sniffin' around my turf," he spat, tossing his cigarette to the ground. The other bikers chuckled, forming a loose circle, expecting an easy fight. Jason didn't waste words. He moved like a predator, closing the distance in a blink. Rex swung a wild punch, but Jason sidestepped with practiced ease, grabbing Rex's arm and twisting it behind his back in a smooth joint lock. The biker howled, dropping to his knees. The vipers lunged, but Jason was a blur, delivering precise strikes. A knee to one man's gut. An elbow to another's jaw. Within seconds, 3 of the 6 bikers were on the ground, groaning. The others hesitated, realizing this wasn't some random drifter. Diesel, still shaken but fiercely loyal, barked and darted to Jason's side, his presence a quiet reassurance. Jason released Rex, shoving him forward. "You think it's funny, hurting animals?" he growled. Rex, clutching his arm, spat blood and sneered. "Just a dog, man. Chill." That was the wrong thing to say. Jason's eyes darkened. He grabbed Rex by the collar, lifting him slightly off the ground. "That dog's got more heart than you'll ever have," he said. His voice steady, but laced with fury. "You're gonna make this right." The bar's patrons had gathered outside, drawn by the commotion. Among them was Maria, a local waitress who'd seen too many of Rex's cruelties. She'd always fed Diesel scraps when he wandered by, and her heart had broken watching the kick. She stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "Rex has been terrorizing this town for years," she said. "Not just dogs, kids, old folks, anyone weaker than him." The crowd murmured agreement, their fear of the vipers giving way to collective anger. Jason saw an opportunity, not just to punish, but to teach. He wasn't here to play vigilante forever, he wanted change. "You lot," he addressed the vipers, who were picking themselves up, wary but listening. "You're gonna clean up your act. Starting with my dog." He pointed to Diesel, who sat proudly at his feet. "You're gonna build him a proper shelter. Right here. For any stray that needs it. And you're gonna help this town, not hurt it." Rex laughed, a weak attempt at defiance. "Or what?" Jason stepped closer, his presence alone enough to silence the biker. "Or I come back. And next time, I won't be this polite." The threat hung in the air, backed by the memory of the fight. Rex swallowed hard, nodding. Over the next week, the town saw something extraordinary. The vipers, under Jason's watchful eye, built a sturdy shelter behind the rusty spur. Maria organized donations, blankets, food, water bowls, while the bikers, grumbling at first, worked under Jason's no-nonsense supervision. He didn't just bark orders, he worked alongside them, showing them how to hammer nails, mix concrete, and treat the strays with care. Diesel supervised too, trotting around the site, his tail wagging as if he knew he'd sparked this change. Rex, surprisingly, started to soften. One evening, as the shelter neared completion, he sat with Diesel, scratching his ears. "Didn't mean to hurt you, bud," he muttered, glancing around to ensure no one heard. Jason, leaning against a post nearby, caught the moment but said nothing. He saw the flicker of remorse, the first sign of something human in Rex. The shelter's opening was a quiet event, but the whole town showed up. Kids petted the strays, and Maria handed out flyers for a new community watch program to protect animals and people alike. Jason stood at the back, Diesel by his side, watching the town reclaim its spirit. Rex approached him, head low. "I was wrong," he said, the words clumsy but genuine. "I'll keep this going. The shelter, the town. I'm done being a prick." Jason studied him, then extended a hand. "Prove it," he said. Rex shook it, a pact sealed. As Jason prepared to leave town, Maria found him packing his jeep. "You didn't just save Diesel," she said, tears in her eyes. "You gave us our town back." Jason shrugged, ever the stoic. "Just did what was right." He knelt to ruffle Diesel's fur. "Ready to go, mate?" Diesel barked, leaping into the passenger seat. The jeep rolled out of town, kicking up dust under the setting sun. Behind them, the shelter stood as a testament to action, empathy, and second chances. Jason glanced at Diesel, who looked back with those wise, loyal eyes. "You're one tough bugger," Jason said, a rare smile breaking through. The road stretched ahead, but for now, they'd won, together. And in that small desert town, the legend of the stranger and his dog grew. A story of justice, kindness, and the kind of logic that says you don't mess with a man's best friend. Especially not when that man is Jason Statham.